Ms. Denny, you're here for first appearance. You do have a couple felony charges. In count one, you're accused of distribution of a certain stimulant possessing somewhere between 3.5 and 100 grams. That substance being methamphetamine. As this is charged as unlawful distribution of methamphetamine, you're looking at a level 3 drug felony. That means if you were to be convicted, depending on your criminal history, if any, you could have to serve at least 55 months up to 247 months in prison. And you could pay a fine up to $300,000. On count 2, you're looking at conspiracy to distribute an unlawful substance, methamphetamine, another level 3 drug felony, which means you could serve another 55 months up to 247 months in prison and pay another $300,000 fine. In count 3, you're accused of possessing a certain quantity of methamphetamines, approximately 59 grams, to which the drug dealer tax stamp is required to be affixed, and you did not allegedly have that. This is a level 10 person felony. If convicted, the fine or the penalties could be up to 5 to 13 months in prison and 100,000 in fines. In count 4, you're accused of trafficking and contraband in a correctional facility. The state's alleging that you did unlawfully and knowingly, without the consent of the administrator of a correctional institution, have in your possession, while in that correctional facility, 12 grams of methamphetamine. This is a level 6 non-person felony. The sentence could be 17 to 46 months in prison, and the fine could be up to $100,000. In count 4, you're accused of the crime of forgery. That is unlawfully and intentionally possessing with intent to issue or distribute a written instrument, knowing it to have been made, altered, or endorsed, or possessing and using a fake identification. As charged, this is a level 8 non-person felony. It carries a sentence of 7 to 23 months in prison and a fine up to $100,000. In count 6, you're accused of identity theft. That is personally possessing an ID, a Kansas driver's license, belonging to, using it as fake identification for yourself with the intent to defraud that person or someone else. This is a level 8 non-person felony. The penalty could be 7 to 23 months in prison and up to a $100,000 fine. In count 7, you're accused of interference with the law enforcement officer by intentionally and knowingly concealing, destroying, or materially altering evidence with the intent to prevent or hinder the apprehension or prosecution of a person, to wit, throwing guns and bags containing methamphetamine out of a moving vehicle. As charged, this is another level 8 non-person felony, meaning to your sentence could be added another 7 months up to 23 months in prison and another $100,000 fine. In count 8, you're accused of interference with law enforcement by knowingly providing information to an officer that you knew or should have known was false with the intention to influence, impede, obstruct the officer's duty. So again, to wit, providing the officer with fake identification card. This is charged as a level 9 non-person felony. If convicted, you could add to your sentence another 5 months up to 17 months in prison and another fine of up to $100,000. In count 9, you're accused of unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia, to wit, a pipe and baggie to store, contain, conceal, inject, ingest, inhale, or otherwise introduce a controlled substance into the human body. This is a Class B non-person misdemeanor. If convicted, it would not carry prison time. It would carry up to 6 months in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Because of the felony charges herein, Ms. Denny, you will be given a preliminary hearing, but before I set that, are you going to hire an attorney or apply for court appointed?
I am actively looking into lawyers.
So you believe you're going to hire your own attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And you believe you have the means to do so?
Yes, I've actually also been looking for a job and actively getting into drug and alcohol assessment and treatments.
Do you think you need to apply for court-appointed attorney? And if you do you wish to do so now?
I would like to be given a little bit more time to um look for an attorney, my own attorney, before going for court appointed.
All right, so you don't have a job. Do you have any money?
Um, not 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 right now. I mean, my mom's been helping me a lot, but
All right, so your mother is able to help you get an attorney?
yes, ma'am.
And you've talked to her about that and she's willing to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, well, if it turns out that you're not able to hire an attorney by your next court date, you can always come in, and I'd urge you to come in and get an application for court-appointed attorney well before your next hearing date. Please do not put that off. All right, so Missy, she's going to hire an attorney.
April 26th at 1:30.
You and your attorney will need to be back here April 26th at 1:30, and that will be by Zoom. So either bring in your hired attorney or be waiting to meet your court-appointed attorney. Again, do not wait. You've made bond, it looks like.
Judge, there's a motion to revoke the defendant's bond filed on record.
Thank you. I'll look at that. If you want to proceed, Ms. Gillette.
Judge, one of the conditions of her bond is to not be having contact with her co-defendant, Mr. Goodwin. If you look at the bond in this matter, it says no contact with Tyler Goodwin specifically in the mid-range of the bond in the special conditions section. It also says no contact with co-defendants in the pre-printed information. And Ms. Denny was arrested on January 30th. In this case, she bonded on a bond of $47,500 on February 4th.
Say that amount again, please.
$47,500.
And she posted that bond on February what?
4th.
Okay.
On February 7th, 3 days later, she was found with Tyler Goodwin in Butler County, Kansas. She was arrested for interference with law enforcement operating a motor vehicle without driver's license. That is in Butler County Sheriff's Office case 2024-00001811. Ms. Denny gave officers her adopted sister's name with a wrong date of birth. She did not match the photo.
That's the second time around. That's not the same time I've just gone over with her.
Nope. She was stopped by Butler County and they were trying to push a 2013 Lincoln MKX out of the ditch. She admitted she had been driving, that she knew Ms. Mitchell had a valid license, so she gave Ms. Mitchell's information to the Butler County officers, and she was taken into custody for interference. Technically, she could also be charged for identity theft if Ms. Mitchell didn't consent to the use of her name. And Ms. Denny did so to avoid the fact that she did not have a valid driver's license and that she had been the one driving. And she was booked into the Butler County Jail. The affidavit from Billy Cole of the Butler County Sheriff's Office is attached to our motion. And the co-defendant, Mr. Goodwin, was with her at the time that she was arrested and helping her push the car. They had been in the vehicle. So the state's asking for her bond to be revoked. She's having contact with the co-defendant and has committed a new crime while on bond. That motion has been pending in the court since February 23rd. And Miss Denny is not abiding by her bond conditions to not break the law and to have no contact with her co-defendant.
Miss Denny, where are you right now? What town?
Wichita.
You live in Wichita?
Yes, ma'am.
And why is it taking us so long, Miss Gillette, to get this bond motion in front of the court?
This is a first appearance. There was no other court date scheduled ahead of this. Sometimes we send warrants to judges. Some judges approve them. Some judges do not approve them. Ex parte.
Okay, thank you. Missy, do you have any idea who her attorney will be?
No, because she said she was hiring one.
Oh, that's right. She said she was gonna hire an attorney. What's our schedule like tomorrow afternoon look like? Oh, is tomorrow when I'm supposed to go to Greenwood in person for the afternoon?
I don't think it's tomorrow. I think it's the next.
The next week? Okay. Is there any way we could squeeze in a bond hearing on her tomorrow afternoon?
The only thing I have tomorrow, our first appears in Elk at 1:30. Judge, there's usually only a few because I had been scheduled for 2-day jury trial that went off.
So if I schedule this for evidentiary hearing, can you get some of those witnesses and let her have a hearing on that?
I can try to get Mr. Cole. Are you wanting it by Zoom or in person?
Well, I want her to come in person, but we can do the rest of it by Zoom, just because that's protocol. All right, Miss Denny, in addition to your preliminary hearing, I'm also going to set a hearing on this motion to modify bond. So you'll need to be here in person tomorrow at the Greenwood County Courthouse at 3:30. If you do not appear, that will definitely be a violation of your probation.
Bond.
And if you want an attorney, since you didn't want me to appoint one, you better have one.
Well, I have appointments already set to be talking with these lawyers, but
You better have them here tomorrow or you'll be probably representing yourself. You sure you don't want to at least temporarily have an appointed attorney?
Yes, ma'am. May I do that?
All right. So are you employed? I may have asked you that.
I have an interview tomorrow
Okay.
at 2:30.
How long have you been unemployed?
For a while now,
How long is a while?
at least half a year.
6 months?
Yeah.
Why have you not been working?
Well, my mom finally just got done with all of her DCF stuff and actually has full custody of my brother, and I've been helping her watch my brother while she goes to work.
Have you been the subject? You're an adult, so you haven't been a subject of a DCF?
No,
Okay.
yeah, I am an adult. I haven't been in foster care since I aged out when I was 19.
Okay. But your mom's been using you to help her get the other children back?
No, she already has him back. I've just been watching him while she goes to work because she works a full-time job now.
Okay, I see. So you've been working, helping take care of your brother or sister or?
My little brother, yeah.
Okay. All right. And you don't have any income or do you?
No, my mom's just been helping me since I've been watching my brother.
Okay, I'm going to appoint an attorney. Missy, will you check with attorney William McClendon and see if he could be available tomorrow at 3:30? Now, where's this job interview that you're looking at?
It's
And your appointment is at 2:30?
yeah, but I can call and try to see if they can make it. Yeah.
Let's do that because you need to get someone, you can do it yourself if you're a legal driver, to get you over here to the courthouse tomorrow at 3:30. Call Missy back here in an hour or so and see who your attorney is, if Mr. McClendon can take your case tomorrow. And she can give you the contact information to call him. I'm just thinking he's physically the closest to the courthouse where he could meet her if he has time to do that. I'd like for you to meet him a little bit early, maybe when you come to the courthouse.
Mr. Goodwin is the individual who just turned himself in, Judge. I would reiterate that in the next 24 hours, there should be no contact between Miss Denny and Mr. Goodwin.
Yes, I'm thinking Mr. Goodwin, when he called my office, may have even implicated contact with Miss Denny, but
She's been charged under Butler County 2024 CR 73.
okay. And can you see if the officer's available tomorrow on that?
I will.
All right. Okay, so Miss Denny, if you have any evidence you want to present tomorrow, any witnesses, you certainly have the right to get them here, but check back in a bit and we'll see. Then if there's nothing further, Miss Denny, you are excused and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. We are on the record in Greenwood County case number 2024 CR 26. State of Kansas versus Jordan Alicia Denny. Please announce appearances.
May it please the court, the state appears by Jill Gillette, County Attorney.
William McClendon for the defendant, who appears via Zoom from a separate location.
Yes, and that separate location would be the Greenwood County Courthouse. We are here on a bond revocation motion filed by the county attorney in which it's alleged that the defendant has violated her probation.
Bond.
Her bond, thank you. That was filed back February 23rd, but Ms. Gillette, you still wish to proceed, is that correct?
Judge, Miss Denny, yes, we do wish to proceed. Ms. Denny has been having ongoing contact with Tyler Goodwin. She has was ordered in her bond to not have contact with him. Not only does it say in the printed form the defendant will not have contact with co-defendants directly or indirectly, but it's specifically written in here, no contact with Tyler Goodwin. And she has had ongoing contact with him. We have witnesses here today. They've continued to have ongoing contact, and she was arrested in Butler County with Tyler Goodwin. We have attached the affidavit of Deputy Billy Cole. He is with us today, and responded to a subpoena. When you set this yesterday, we got right with Deputy Cole so that we could get him on here by Zoom today. And she was booked into the Butler County Jail operating a motor vehicle. Our request is that she have her bond revoked for having ongoing contact with Mr. Goodwin and continuing to commit more crimes. Not only was she arrested there for interference with law enforcement, she also had no valid driver's license. So those are, crimes that have been committed over in Butler County, as well as the ongoing contact. The witnesses stand ready to testify.
Very well. Mr. McClendon, does your client contest these violations and wish to have an evidentiary hearing?
Not to my knowledge, no, Judge.
All right, then let me visit with you, Miss Denny. Do you deny these allegations and wish to have an evidentiary hearing wherein Ms. Gillette would have the responsibility of putting on witnesses if she can and showing these alleged violations?
No, Your Honor.
So you do agree that these violations took place as alleged?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anyone making you enter this admission today by any threats or promises? I'm sorry?
Your Honor.
And do you understand that if I accept these admissions, you could and probably would have your bond revoked?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, well, so you did have ongoing contact with Tyler Goodwin,
Yes, Your Honor.
and You were booked into the Butler County Jail for driving without a license and interference with law enforcement officer.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I'm not going to get into whether you did or didn't, but as far as those cases are concerned, but I understand, Ms. Gillette, you do have the officers who arrested her ready to testify today that they did see her drive without a license and interfere with law enforcement.
Judge Deputy Cole is here and present.
Okay.
Sheriff Samuels is also here with knowledge for Greenwood County information.
All right, well, I will accept the defendant's waiver of hearing on this motion to revoke bond, as well as her stipulation to the truthfulness of the violations. Recommendations, Ms. Gillette, now that I'm finding her in violation of her bond.
Judge, it's the state's recommendation that she be placed in the Greenwood County Jail. Mr. Goodwin is also in the Greenwood County Jail right now because he had missed court and was issued a warrant. So we'd ask that they have no contact while they're in the Greenwood County Jail, no sending messages with anyone. And that the defendant have a new bond established, and that a requirement of the new bond continue to be no contact with the co-defendant. Technically, having contact with Mr. Goodwin in Butler County could be additional new charges of violation of the protective order that says no contact with each other. So she could have additional charges for having that contact. And we'd ask that any new bond require GPS location on her.
Mr. McClendon, your recommendations?
I would agree with Jill, and we would just ask for a new bond on our part. My client, she's having to help take care of her little brother, and she's also got a couple job interviews lined up, is what she told me, and she's also looking at possibly getting in some kind of rehab here soon, and assessments for those facilities.
She has some very serious charges, multiple charges, like 8 felonies, 1 misdemeanor, and her bond was set at $47,500, made by Big Fish bail bonds. She hasn't complied with that. I'm inclined to make her bond. I'm going to make her bond $90,000, cash or surety required. No contact with Tyler Goodwin while they're in the jail, while one of them is out of jail under any circumstances. No contact. Don't write, don't social message, don't pass notes, don't tell someone in the jail to give each other a message. If need be, I'll have you put in separate facilities. Do we have a hearing set for her?
We do. Her hearings April 26th at 1:30.
Yeah, I just got appointed to this case yesterday, so I haven't even received discovery. So
All right.
that's where I'm at on that.
Sheriff Samuels, if you would please have you or your assistants take Miss Denny into custody, please.
Judge, are you going to require GPS or not?
Yes,
Just so
yes, GPS. I meant to say that. That was the other thing I meant to say, GPS, no contact, no violations of the law, standard conditions. Sheriff Samuels, can you hear me? Missy, can you contact someone to take her into custody down there?
He may have walked over to the courtroom.
All right. Miss Denny, do you have an officer there with you now?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. She needs to be taken into custody. Thank you, Sheriff.